Hello, welcome to my channel. Today's topic is Club Bruges, or rather, why you should be wary of them in Europe. Now, I'm not here to tell you that Bruges will win the Champions League. They won't. But I will tell you not to underestimate them. And to explain why, let's go through some of Bruges' recent history in Europe. As you can see here, I have chosen to start at the 2018-19 season. Why do I pick this season? Well, it is the first season where Club Bruges is in the Champions League for, I believe, a 5-year run. And it is also 2018 where Club Bruges really starts to dominate the Belgian league. So that's why I've picked this season. Now, what do you notice here? I'm not going to go through the entire fixture list for each time. But what you can notice is Club Bruges getting some results to get out of the group stage in a tough group. Atletico Madrid, Borussia Dortmund. Granted, this is a really strong Atletico Madrid team as well. But in the end, they go to the Europa League and lose 2-5 on aggregate to Red Bull Salzburg after winning 2-1. I'll explain where I'm getting at in a bit, but I want to show you this as well. Club Brugge, the immediate season after this, draws Galatasaray, draws Real Madrid, narrowly loses to PSG, ignore the 5-0, and then I'll draw against Galatasaray to go through in the Europa League. And what happens? Again, a good first result against Manchester United in the Europa League, then decimation in the second leg. I believe the second leg was at Old Trafford. Where am I getting at? Why do I keep showing you this? And I'm showing you this to show a repeating pattern. Here, Club Brugge narrowly did not get through to the Champions League knockout stages. And that is because it was a tough group. They got a result against Lazio, drawing twice. They beat Zenit St. Petersburg twice. But lost twice against Dortmund, which is to be expected. And therefore went to the Europa League. And in the Europa League, again, they were not good enough. This is a pattern. Club Bruges does well in the early phases of these European tournaments. But the moment they get into the later stages, it's crumbling. And we see that again here. Not to the same extent though. Drawing PSG, beating Leipzig away, it's a good start. But then this is a difficult group. Losing twice to Manchester City, losing to Leipzig, and then losing to PSG. That's about what you expect, but maybe the scorelines could have been better. And again, a good start, bad end. This is maybe the best example of that point. The last time Club Brugge played in the Champions League, they beat Leverkusen. It was a tough win at home. Then they smacked Porto away, beat Atletico Madrid, drew them on the away fixture, and then what happens? Again, it is collapse. 4-0 defeat to Porto, who previously Club Brugge beat 4-0. Then 0-0 against Bayer Leverkusen. Okay, maybe that's acceptable. This is absolutely not acceptable. In the Champions League, they lose 1-7 in the round of 16. But what you can surmise from this is that Club Brugge starts well. And the Conference League shows a different story. When you pair Club Brugge against teams that have similar budget as themselves, such as Besiktas, maybe Lugano and Bodo Glimt, not as much, but Besiktas has a similar budget to Club Brugge. Then you look at these other teams. Ajax has a similar budget to Club Brugge, and Fiorentina has a bit of a bigger budget than Club Brugge. They managed to get all the way to the semi-finals in this competition where the budget is about level or sometimes higher, a bit lower than that of Club Brugge. They can go far in Europe. And they could have probably won the Conference League last season, but they didn't. And let me tell you why. Club Brugge was very much so underperforming in the Belgian league under the manager Ronnie Deila, who was just an absolute disaster for Club Bruges. He had been there for less than a season. He was sacked before the Pauk game, in fact. I believe he was sacked just 2 weeks after beating Molde 3-0. But he was sacked. Okay. Now comes in Nicky Hayen. Okay, he was a great coach because look at his record in the playoffs, in the Belgian League playoffs. He won 7 games, drew 3 out of 10 in the playoffs against top 6 teams to clinch a title from 9 points behind. Very impressive. However, he has played, or managed rather, less than 20 games in his entire career. That inexperience does show in Europe, where against Fiorentina, Club Bruges was playing better. Nicky Hayen brought his men back, defended deeply, because Fiorentina went forwards a few times and Nicky Hayen got scared. This is inexperience. Nicky Hayen now has just played his 21st game for Club Bruges, so he is not very experienced. It's not like he just gained a bunch of experience since the Fiorentina game, but he has lost now to Fiorentina. And maybe he has learned. Maybe he has learned that you cannot count too much. So that brings us to this season, where Dortmund at home, Aston Villa at home, and Sporting at home. Those look like 3 really good home fixtures. Because Sturm Graz should certainly be beatable for Club Bruges, no matter if it is at home or away. And Celtic, they are difficult to play away, but it is doable for Club Bruges. So you look at this. Most computer simulations say you need 9 points to go through in this league phase. Club Bruges is looking at 9 points between these 6 games. Now you might be thinking, there's 2 more games. Manchester City at the Etihad and Juventus. There's no points to be won in those 2 games, sorry. So let's be realistic here, let's focus on the 6 games where points are possible. It's not going to be AC Milan, and I have talked about this already. AC Milan is at a perfect time. Club Brugge is never winning points at San Siro. And right after the AC Milan game comes a tough game against, I believe, Anderlecht, or was it Union? I can't remember. One of the 2 title contenders together with Club Brugge. So Club Brugge will probably roll out a B team against AC Milan. These other 5 games, so that's where Club Brugge is hoping to get 9 points. Sturm Graz and Celtic, great, you have your 9 points. What if you draw Sporting, or lose? Both is possible. What if you beat Sturm Graz and beat Sporting, but you lose against Celtic because it's away, it's difficult? Then suddenly you don't have your 9 points. So Club Brugge will be looking at Dortmund at home and Aston Villa at home to get some points. Now if we go back here, you might notice Aston Villa against Olympiacos. It's a massacre. It's a blatant massacre. 2-6 on aggregate, 2-4 and 2-0. But Olympiacos only barely beats, by the skin of their teeth, Fiorentina, who by the skin of their teeth have beaten Club Brugge, which by the way, 2 bangers by Fiorentina that they almost never score. That was 2 great goals that are very rare. Olympiacos only barely beat that team, and Club Brugge, as I said earlier, fell back too much. The manager was too scared. If you are to assume that Nicky Hayen has now learned his lesson, is now a bit more brave in Europe, while still being reasonable, can we say that Aston Villa should be confident going into Jan Bredel? Can we say that? I don't think so, because I do believe that Club Brugge can finish top 6 in the Premier League if you put them in the Premier League with their current squad. I also believe Dortmund, despite their great season last year in the Champions League, they were terrible in the league. I have watched Dortmund against Werder Bremen. They were very toothless. These are beatable teams. So with that said, is Club Brugge going to be going through to the round of 16 in the Champions League? I don't know, I'm not a prophet. But if I am a betting man, which I am not, but if I was, I would still tell you no. Their fixture list is too difficult. Nicky Hein is too inexperienced. As great as a coach he is, come on, he's not even coached 20 games in his career, and you expect him to go through in this fixture list of Europe. That is not quite realistic. But it is Club Bruges, and they are very scary in Europe to play against sometimes. So anything can happen. And that is why, for this season, you have to be wary of Club Bruges. Although I still do think it is unlikely. Now do tell me your opinions down below about what you think about Club Bruges and all of that. And yeah, thank you for watching to the end. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. Go check out some of my other content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.